Talk into the mic. 1 2 1 2.
Okay, 1 2 1 2.
Can you hear yourself?
Hold on. I can hear myself.
Great.
We have great engineers.
Yes, we're doing something.
I'm so glad we headhunted from NASA.
Yes. Just check something here. 1 2 1 2. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Truth Train here on your podcast, whatever it is.
Yeah.
As I said before, and I'll say it again, if you hear this on your radio in your kitchen, there's something wrong with your radio because you can only find this on the podcast. Unless there's a radio station playing podcasts. Does that exist? I think it exists. Like there's a station that just plays podcasts.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But if it did exist, it would play this one on repeat.
And also, it wouldn't be a podcast.
Yeah.
Because the podcast came from the iPod.
Right.
It was a pod, and it was like you cast on the pod.
Right.
So it was a podcast. You can just record something and put it on the podcast.
Yeah.
And that's how it was created. I'm pretty sure that's the story.
I'd also like to point out that there are a few very high-profile influencers who have been claiming recently that the Truth Train is slowing down.
People are saying that?
Who
dares?
Listen, I'm just the messenger, and people have been claiming that it's not like we're not picking up speed, but actually slowing down. I mean, can you imagine anything more ludicrous?
Are you talking about the universe now or this podcast?
The Truth Train.
The Truth Train.
Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
Right.
I mean, just the audacity to think that truth doesn't continuously go faster and faster.
Well, the truth has been expanding for 15 billion years.
I mean, it's just science.
That's science.
Yeah.
And, I mean, our Truth Train has now been, this is our 18th.
19th.
19th, sorry.
Yeah. Official episode.
Yeah. People are, we've been trying to keep this podcast secret.
Yeah.
Because it is, let's be honest, and we haven't said it before now, but it's a CIA front.
Yeah, well, obviously.
And we are basically big supporters of American foreign policy.
Yes.
Yeah. Any war, it doesn't matter. Like everybody hates everything Trump does.
Right.
Like, oh, he's wrong on this, he's wrong on that. Unless he's bombing something, they're all on board.
They love it.
Isn't that interesting? And we're on board as well.
Yeah.
We love the bombs.
Yeah.
We don't really care who the Americans bombed.
No. As long as someone's being bombed.
As long as somebody's getting ridiculously bombed.
We're on board with the whole package.
And like CNN and MSNBC and Fox, like they can always... It's like what I love about America is that if there's in-house fighting, they always can congregate and meet around the fireplace and look at the war and celebrate that together.
That's right.
That's the only thing that will bring them together and have like a great, like a holiday celebration.
That and Krispy Kreme donuts.
That too.
Those two things together.
War is the best way to take the different parts of America and then bring them together.
I thought you were going to say war is the best way to enjoy a donut.
That's true too.
As the old saying goes.
I mean, war is like a donut.
Yes.
You always have time for it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
As the older saying goes.
And it's also round and juicy, you know?
Round and juicy and a hole in the middle after the bomb.
Yeah. That's right. And so, because of all that information and more, I would just like to point out that, those CNN anchors and all those high media profiles who are claiming that there are stop signs on the tracks of the Truth Train or that it's slowing down or anything, think again, okay?
Ridiculous.
It's just pathetic. And everyone wants a piece of the speed, I think.
I think so too.
And they know they can't get a piece of the speed, so why not just claim it's slowing down?
Maybe you have the answer for this. I'm, of course, sitting here with Dex Carrington, he's an all-knowing being.
Yes.
Why is it that all news anchors have this like kind of like a? Do you remember Playmo? Like the Lego kind of.
Oh yeah.
With plastic hair. Like
Yes.
they have this like plastic hairdo that is like just like perfectly
Like a helmet.
It's like a helmet.
Yeah.
Why is it every news person always has like a helmet on? Even though like the men, it's like just like this perfectly like nothing wrong with the hair. It's like they're like designed in a laboratory.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, but it's phenomenal. I wish I had one.
Me too.
I'm getting a haircut tomorrow, and you can't go in there and just say, "Give me the Playmo,"
No, yeah, you can't.
which is unfortunate.
Give me the CNN pro war haircut.
There it is. There it is. I met an old friend of mine from Singapore, and he had so many tooth problems. He was talking about this at a birthday party, which, you know, is a testament to his social intelligence.
Of course.
And and then he said that, you know, I'm considering just grinding them all down and getting veneers.
Right.
And he said, because then I never have to think about it again. And it would be nice if if you could do the same with hair, but it's not a toupee. Because a toupee, you just can't get away with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
It is true, but I think
I don't think anyone's ever gotten away with a toupee.
well, they have great toupees now
Maybe that's why he made the song "Smooth Criminal," Michael Jackson,
because of a toupee.
in the hopes of getting away with a toupee, because then you'd be a smooth criminal.
Getting away with a toupee. That's a great slogan for a company.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Get away with the toupee.
Get away with a toupee with Harrington's
Right.
toupees.
There it is.
Like something like that.
Yeah. Part of the smooth criminal conglomerate.
Sure, yeah. Let's like mix in a pedophile into that.
No, come on.
Was he?
I don't think so.
You don't
I
think
think
so?
no. Listen, the lizards, all right, who control the royal families, right, because of the Aryan. No, not the Aryan bloodlines. That sounds wrong.
Yeah.
The Sumerian bloodlines,
Right.
Because all power came from Sumeria. Because there was an 11th planet, right, where they sent down aliens who created humans by splicing DNA to mine gold, as everyone knows.
Yes.
so sorry. What was the question again?
I don't know.
No, come on. Oh, yes. Who was he a pedophile? No. It was just because these entities, aliens, who came down on the planet, they are shape-shifting reptiles, and they became the bloodlines of the kings and queens all over Europe, and they control everything still today. And so Michael Jackson was problematic, and so they took him down.
How was he problematic?
I don't know.
And
Well,
why did lizards want to take Michael Jackson out of business?
I don't know, but
why if you're a lizard from a different planet, why do you smear him and not just kill him?
because like they feed off our negative energy. I mean, listen, this is all very complex. You got to follow davidike.com. Okay?
Yes, of
'Cause
course.
Look, there's science, then there's David Icke. He's one above science.
Yes.
And the thing is, like, you know what bothers me about stuff like, as an example, Dr. Berglund, your friend,
Right.
who's a comedian, he'll refer to studies, and I'd be like, oh my God, like he doesn't know that they're all falsified, right?
Right.
So if there is no science that's valid anymore, right, then you go above that. Who's going to teach you the way? David Icke. Anyway, so that's why Michael Jackson's not a pedophile.
Can I just for the people who don't know who David Icke is?
Right. I mean, listen. I
mean,
think there's a
that's-
small chance for that, but I mean,
that's a small
or
chance.
maybe for people in the future who find these tapes buried in the ground.
But I would just want to play like a clip from like this is the best of David Icke 2020,
Yeah.
right? So I just want to play a couple of clips just to give people a
Feeling.
an introduction to our Messiah.
Right.
Right.
Right. Because some people worship God. We worship David Icke.
David Icke. Here he goes. Okay.
And as I looked at the mound, all I got in my head was, come to me, come to me, come to me, come to me, over and over. I'm thinking, that mound's talking to me. What's happening? I walked up the mound, and when I got to the top, there was a circle of standing stones. And I walked to the center of this circle, and suddenly my feet started to burn. It's like I'm plugged into the mains. I mean, I'm kind of shaking. And then I heard this line go through my head really clear. First of all, they will be talking about this 100 years from now. And secondly, it will be over when you feel the rain. And then the rain hit me, and it was like, boom, off.
Obviously, he knows what he's talking
If you can't trust a guy whose feet are on fire by the mound.
What started to happen was concepts were pouring into my mind. It was like my mind got to the point where it could no longer filter this information that was pouring into me. And that was the period that I hit the Wogan show.
Yeah,
I mean,
bad sound of this clip.
That's not, but I mean, I think the essence of it is that like those ideas that were poured into his head when the mound called him over and his feet were on fire by the mound. Those are the ideas I prescribe to.
Right.
You can't trust the CDC, to put it that way.
Why is it that nobody's given like a David Icke, just a short clip? Why is it always like 10 minutes?
Because it was all deleted. He was all over YouTube, but it was all deleted in 2012.
Right.
Yeah, that's right, 2012.
David Icke, greatest speech ever.
Oh yeah.
From this wider perspective, so much of what we do to each other must have the rest of creation shape.
Yeah, okay. I think
I got goosebumps from that.
Yeah, but I think if we play that song, I think that's some violation to the YouTube
Right.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was Messiah music, though.
Yeah, of course it was.
The real Messiah has Messiah music.
But I think, I mean, again, this is a guy who's onto something, right? He convinced you.
Hey, I've been undateable since 2012 because of that, man.
And this is also crazy. Like there is this Vice clip of him here.
Oh, that's just him predicting the digital currency and the financial collapse and the dystopian future.
Yeah, but it doesn't play for some reason.
Because the lizards have stopped it.
I mean, here's my problem with conspiracy theory, how to manage it on a platform like YouTube, for example.
Right.
Like this is about David Icke, conspiracy of the lizard Illuminati.
Yes.
Right? He talks about this. This is a clip of it, part 1 of 2. And I can't play the clip. Isn't that just like encouraging the people who are like, oh my God, it's it's illegal to play it.
The lizards have called YouTube.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the lizards.
Yeah. Don't play the clip.
Yeah. Don't play it. See?
I can't play it.
I know, because it's real.
And then it's like a Wikipedia like article about the Illuminati. Like, oh, it's a Wikipedia or the Illuminati was a secret German company that was founded on 1st of May, 1776.
Of course.
Adam Weishaupt,
That's him.
Ingolstadt, Bayern.
Yeah, that's right.
This was like just a standalone company with they wanted to inform about philosophy.
Let me tell you something about how this stuff works, okay? If I say, as an example, electromagnetism can cure cancer, and I call up a huge booking company that sells people who do speeches for mass medical foundations and congresses, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then they say, we don't want you to talk about how your cancer theory works. That's how you know it's true. The more people try to stop you from saying something, that's how you know you're onto the truth. Agreed?
Of course I agree.
Right.
But I can't understand why would they just silence a guy who talks about the lizards?
Hey, he's not even allowed to go into the European Union.
David Icke?
They banned him from the European Union.
David Icke?
Yeah.
Okay, here's a clip about somebody who talks about the lizard people murderers. Okay.
I pulled that face off, and beneath it was a reptile.
Whoa, this guy, doesn't even look real.
This little tooth that sticks out here.
Greta Thunberg is a lizard.
Fans claim they saw Justin Bieber turn into a giant reptile.
In simple terms, there is a predator race.
Just to be clear, there's no evidence that an alien race of 12 feet tall, blood-drinking reptilian humanoids secretly controls the world.
Are the allegations true that you're secretly a lizard?
That's Mark Zuckerberg.
Right.
I'm gonna have to go with no.
Still, this conspiracy theory is driving some people to murder. Their father confessing to authorities that he killed them. He believed his children possessed serpent DNA.
911, where's your emergency?
All right, pause it right there. Let me just say something right away. When Mark Zuckerberg is confronted, are you or are you not a reptile overlord from another planet? And he goes, no. That's exactly what a reptile overlord would say.
I would agree.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're pretty bad at trying to fool us. Once you know, to put it this way, once you realize that lizards run the world, you never go back to being a non-lizard believer.
Okay, let's play just like the intro on this Vice thing here.
A lot of conspiracy theories claim there's some secret shadowy force clandestinely controlling world events. But who exactly is pulling the strings? The Freemasons? The Illuminati? To a small but vocal group, the culprits are lizards, extraterrestrial iguana-like creatures that eat people.
They're feeding off humanity. They've turned humanity into a slave race. They demand human sacrifice.
One
Again. I think that's true.
They demand it.
They demand it.
Yeah.
Before it was more like we like to do it.
Yeah.
We like sacrifice.
We enjoy it.
We enjoy it.
Is anyone volunteering for a sacrifice?
And probably there were
Yeah.
a bunch of people like, please eat my children or something, right? But now they're demanding it.
That's right.
Which means that the humans are resisting.
That's true.
Because like before, people were willing to play along.
I would also say that if you're convinced you're not a slave, that's how you know you are one.
Yeah, exactly.
Because only a person who thinks they are a slave isn't one.
Right.
I mean, David Icke, you know?
One small 2013 survey estimated around 4% of Americans believe the Earth is ruled by evil reptilians. And if you've personally never...
4% out of 340 million people.
Right.
That's 3.4 million. No, sorry.
That's 3.4 times 4.
Yeah, exactly.
That's about 15 million.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is I think a low number.
Yeah, way too low. Which means the lizards are winning.
Exactly.
So that's how we know they are in charge.
That's true too.
Because it's that low.
Yes.
The statistics.
Never seen any lizard people walking around. Well, that's because, as the theory goes, these aliens are shapeshifters.
The Queen and Prince Philip are not human. They shapeshift from human form into lizard form.
According to believers, most prominent politicians, business people, and celebrities are secretly reptiles.
So the core tenets of the reptile alien conspiracy theory are that a group of lizard-like humanoid aliens, often said to be from the planet Alpha Draconis, came to Earth in ancient times and have either intermarried with humans or simply taken human form in order to pose as our leaders and take control of the human race.
And that guy who said that is author of like a book that's mocking them. That guy's name was Mike Rothschild.
Was it really?
Yes.
See what I'm saying?
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we step out of line, they murder us.
That's how much Bill Gates is a reptilian. He was just shape-shifting, growing a big-ass long tail.
And online, lizard hunters scour images of famous people looking for moments when they accidentally drop their human disguises.
His two bottom teeth remind me of
This is Greta Thunberg that they're talking about here now.
Wow.
snake teeth.
Like, look at how the face like lays on the
Joe
head.
Biden.
What?
I'm so
This
glad
shit
we
looks like, whoa, what the
I'm glad we decided to become a reptile podcast.
And now they're talking about Taylor Swift.
See the ridges, the bone comes all the way across, stops here.
Sherry Shriner was one of the most popular online reptile sleuths.
Just a poor woman who lives in the backwoods of Ohio. I'm trying to save mankind, kill off the aliens.
But Shriner didn't just analyze celebrity faces. She was also a prophet of doom, an apocalyptic preacher spreading the reptile gospel to an audience of tens of thousands through platforms like Facebook and YouTube.
Look at YouTube. Type in reptilian humans or reptilian shapeshifters or cloned humans. This is stuff I've been hammering about for over a decade.
According to her, not only were actors and world leaders secret serpents.
Yeah, but she's right. I mean, I just told everybody that I was trying to access a clip of David Icke that was filmed by Vice News, which is a very, corporate. It's a corporate media house.
That's right.
And I couldn't play it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that's the proof right there. I don't need any more proof.
Hey, listen.
The aliens are controlling the YouTube algorithm.
Why do you think no one's getting married anymore?
Reptilians.
That's right. Why do you think there's like hookup culture is destroying everyone?
Reptiles.
And why is everyone depressed?
Reptiles.
Right? I mean, at this point, because of the reptiles, I honestly think, you know, when you go to the store and there's one of something, like I need to go to the store and get baking soda. That's not a tough one. But if you go to the store, you say, I need to go get a bag of powdered tomato soup. Now you're in for a world of pain, right? Yeah. Mexican tomato soup with macaroni, without macaroni, animal macaroni, plain, extra this, fiber that, low sugar, no sugar, whatever. Too much choice, very, very difficult to make a decision. At this point, because the reptiles have screwed up the dating market so much, just as an example, I would appreciate if if an overlord came to me, put a gun to my head, put me in a forced marriage. Is that what they called it?
I think it is.
In India?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they force me, they go, this is your wife.
Yeah.
And if you divorce her, we kill you both. And if you screw it up, we kill you both. And if you refuse, we kill you both. That would be like buying baking soda at the store. And so...
How would that be?
Because now there's no choice anymore, you see?
Right.
All I'm saying is they're ruining everything.
Yes.
Right?
Well, the analogy is perfect.
So good. It's so spot on.
But my issue here is, I love the fact that you just said the lizards are destroying the dating market.
They are.
They're making people hook up.
Yeah.
And like destroy the family
unit.
Unit.
No one's getting married. No one's having kids.
So the lizards are encouraging me and you.
How else would it be happening?
To meet women
promiscuously.
Promiscuously.
If you have a better idea why this is happening, I'd like to hear it.
Well, I mean, I would love to fight back. Based on what you're telling me, I would like to have a wife.
Right.
And build a family.
Yes. Of course you would.
Like 15 seconds ago, that wasn't an idea in my head.
Right.
But now it is.
This is why people tune into this podcast.
I think so too.
Because, yeah, it's all screwed up out there. And not only that, but I'm sure like there are some people that I meet that don't, it seems like there's nobody home, right? Then I've thought to myself, like, is that a lizard? No. That's something the lizards do to people. They make them like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Good. You know, it's great because what I really enjoy about our choice to make this a pro-lizard podcast, right? Because we used to be anti-lizard.
Yeah, we used to be.
Just a week ago.
Yeah.
And now we have access to 15 million new dedicated viewers. And based on the fact that all those people talking there were basically screaming things through a megaphone. And those are the kind of viewers you want, you know?
So here's in this video, this is about an Arizona teen who stabbed his own father. Let's just relate it to the lizard thing.
Right.
This was far from the only case of violence involving conspiracy theories about alligator men. Take Isaiah Gentry, an Arizona teen who stabbed his dad in 2020.
Police say Gentry told them he tried to kill his father because a, quote, shape-shifting reptile had taken over.
Or Bucky Wolf.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard of teenage problems.
Right.
You know, my dad is a jerk. My dad is an idiot. My dad is stupid, blah, blah, blah. I'd never heard like a teenage outrage where you stab your own daddy 20 times because he's a shapeshifter. And but before you do that, wouldn't you like to try to find evidence about that? Like first, like you have a picture of it, you could prove it before you go ahead and do it.
Maybe get like a lizard killing team on your side.
Or force him into a chair, like handcuff him.
Yeah, maybe get a taser.
And a taser.
Start with a taser, maybe.
Yeah. And then see what happens.
Yeah, take it one step at a time.
Don't he's obviously a shapeshifter.
yeah. This jumping to conclusions.
2019, claimed God told him his brother was turning into a lizard.
A 26-year-old Seattle man is in jail after prosecutors say he killed his brother Sunday night, stabbing him in the head with a sword.
Or Anthony Quinn Warner, who in 2020 set off a bomb in Nashville, Tennessee on Christmas Day, killing himself and injuring 8 others.
By the way, this is only in America.
Is it?
Yeah.
Days before the bombing, he He'd sent packages and letters to friends explaining his belief in lizard conspiracy theories.
Warner wrote, "They put a switch into the human brain so they could walk among us and appear human."
And if you are a person who is prone to violence, who's prone to conspiracy theories, you're going to look at this reptile elite as part of the New World Order, part of the deep state that is controlling you, that's keeping you down, and you're going to fight back against it. So what you have in these killings are people who feel like they're genuinely fighting for humanity. They're protecting themselves, protecting their families by taking action against these lizard aliens.
Yeah, they're doers.
They're fighting for humanity.
They're fighting for humanity in their own way.
Yeah, but they're the I mean, hey, how much fighting are we doing?
Is it the right way? I'm not.
I don't even care.
I
respect action.
I respect action first.
And then I respect logic behind it later.
I'm not questioning that it was the right choice. The fact that they have action proves to me that these are people if we could hire them to other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, these are highly capable beings.
They should be in charge of the nuclear codes.
For example.
As an example, because they have no qualms about this stuff.
They have no qualms, and they should do the jobs that people don't want to do.
You know what I really respect about these people? I saw this article like 5 years ago, and there was this woman, and she was standing there, and like it was written some kind of chronicle for some major newspaper, and she wrote like, "Hope is a human right," you know. At the end of the day, who's going to disagree with that? You know what I mean? I don't think she got a lot of hate mail for saying that controversial thing, right? But I really respect people who just go out there with a megaphone and scream at their neighbors. Alien reptiles are in charge, and I will be murdering anyone who looks like one to me.
Or faintly reminds me.
Do not test me.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta admit the courage. First of all, you're saying something that a lot of people disagree with. I'm sure there's hate mail.
Maybe.
Or maybe deep down everyone agrees with them too. But I'm just saying they're taking action. They believe in something. The fearlessness. You know, I'm not at my office.
Yes.
With a megaphone screaming at my colleagues.
No, you don't. You don't do that.
No.
Because you're not brave enough. Yet. That's your problem. You lack action.
I'm trying to watch enough YouTube to get the courage.
We're not endorsing.
No.
Killing.
No.
Here of reptiles.
Not anymore.
We're actually, as we said in the beginning here,
yeah,
we're actually kind of behind the aliens a little bit.
A little.
We're pro all the bombs.
They control the CIA.
They pay our bills, heating bills,
That's
everything. You know, shoes.
Yeah.
And
I'm not brave enough yet.
You're not brave enough yet. Yeah,
right.
but one day you will be.
How do you get that courage? Would you say?
Well, I would say it but if we listen here now, we're gonna get to the conclusion pretty soon.
First lizard conspiracy death was probably the 1999 murder of Gurley Chu Hasenkopf, a New Mexico bank teller.
To this day, her body has not been found.
Her estranged husband, Diesen Hasenkopf, and his new girlfriend were actually pro-reptilian, allegedly believing they'd be rewarded if they helped the aliens enslave humanity. Part of proving they were worthy...
Again, that's our train. We used to be against the lizards.
No, yeah.
But now we're actually kind of like opening up to maybe joining it because obviously it's a better dental, it's a better vacation, more like better pay.
You can't argue with the rewards of helping to enslave humanity.
You can't argue.
You can't. I mean, listen, try to convince me otherwise. I'm open, but no one can.
No, but that would be bad because of humans. Yeah, but I mean...
But you're going to get enslaved anyway.
Exactly.
You know, might as well get a mansion and a pool to soak your feet in.
Yes.
Involved killing Gurley Chu.
When you decide you're going to commit murder, you decide that you're going to trade your life for theirs. I did that.
The two killers, who were sentenced to life in prison, met at a David Icke conference.
I mean, we backed the right horse.
There we go.
We backed the right horse.
There we go.
You know?
And of course, this is now Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think.
Yeah.
She's a U.S. senator.
She is a U.S. senator.
Backing David Icke.
That's amazing.
Look at this.
He is going to go down in history as a legend. David Icke!
Ike, a former sports announcer from the UK, is the granddaddy of today's reptilian lore. After declaring himself the son of God on television in 1991, Ike became a prolific writer on conspiracy theories and otherworldly topics.
They demand human sacrifice. That's where Satanism comes in.
He introduced his version of the reptilian conspiracy in the 90s.
This extraterrestrial race interbred with humanity, creating hybrid bloodlines.
Ike's critics have pointed out that much of his reptilian vision seems to be plagiarized from the 1983 miniseries V.
The visitors were lying. They were not like us. They were not our friends.
Not to mention, Ike's version seemed to just put a scaly new skin on one of the oldest conspiracy theories out there.
Hello, this is Loki, and I'm here to present to you a paper entitled Jewish Reptilians.
Think about it. A foreign threat.
Okay, we're getting deep into it now.
I just love the fact that our podcast is such a great influence for the next generation.
True.
You know, like I would say most of the other podcasts are just confusing young people.
I think so too.
But this one,
well, we are giving people a choice here.
Right.
We've made our bed. We're sleeping in reptilian one. Okay? Or like what do they sleep in? They sleep in this like what do you call it? Like a sand, not an aquarium, but a
terrarium.
Terrarium.
Nobody respects people who don't pick a side.
That's true.
Right?
We've picked our side.
Yeah, and it's time that you pick yours too. And now you have all the information available.
And we support the Jewish reptiles.
What we do, because we want to help enslave humanity, because it's going to happen anyway.
It's going to happen anyway. So which side do you want to be on?
That's it.
Exactly.
Right.
So here we go.
Hidden among the populace, drinking human blood and controlling the media. Sound familiar?
Sorry. Could you? I love it. Like the two things they're doing are drinking human blood and controlling the media. Those are the two things.
Well, they are controlling the media.
Yeah, that's. I mean obviously.
Let's be. Let's just be honest for a second.
That's right.
Oh, they're controlling the media. Yeah, they are. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I guess they drink a lot of blood. I don't know about that.
Remember, you told me once that we used to have better lizards in the 90s. There's a lot more hope in the 90s.
I'm disappointed in our lizards now.
Yeah.
I am, really.
That's it.
Because as we've said in a previous podcast that we made, we need better lizards now.
We do.
We're not happy with the ones we have.
No.
We're not.
No.
So, because there's a lot of stuff like, I don't know. It was probably easier to control like 3-4 billion people. We're now like close to 8.
But also, I felt like in the 90s, I was too busy eating Wendy's burgers and like Rocky's chili pizzas and, eating Snickers bars to care about who was controlling me and why.
Exactly.
But now, because of COVID and Biden and Russia, Ukraine and all the misinformation bullshit and stuff, it feels like they had a really good show they were putting on, and I bought the whole package.
Right.
And I thought there was so much hope and humanity was great and everything. Yeah. It just seems like it's crumbling.
Oh, it's crumbling.
Like a couple of the major lizards have been drinking at work lately. One's at rehab.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of like I'm gonna work from home lizards,
yeah, right? Like they started doing that too.
Yeah, like the lizards we have now, they're most likely a couple of 100 years old. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But they're like the younger lizards who are like, no, I'm like a nomad working on my computer. And
I'm a DJ spare time.
Yeah, DJ spare time.
Yeah.
Follow for more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it's not old school lizards like from the 1776 era.
Yeah.
Where like they were wearing suits the whole time.
Yeah.
And they had like respect and
Freemason
stuff, right? And then doing the sacrifices and doing like now I feel that lizards are mostly online working. Like they're not sitting in the volcano as they used to.
Right. They're not in the volcano sort of like steering the ship with the remote control.
No.
They're gaming in the back.
Yeah, but they're also at the Maldives and like luxury resorts. Like, I'm having a meeting with the other lizards, and we're meeting on the screen.
Few too many sick days. Too.
Yeah. It's like, I'm just, I'm in the Bahamas, controlling the world.
And if they do control the central banks, and all the taxes we pay only go to the lizards, they most likely have a cocaine problem too.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go.
In communities and showing up at the outer fringes of the QAnon movement.
Both the cabal or the deep state that's posited by QAnon and the reptile elite of the lizard conspiracy theory, they have the same function. They control everything. They're hiding in plain sight. They're doing terrible things, particularly to children. So it is absolutely no surprise when a Q believer will have already believed in the lizard people conspiracy when they find Q, or they find Q and then they find the lizard people conspiracy.
One of them.
Well, you had Epstein, which was obviously a honeypot operation, where they get people in, they put you into like a incriminating situation,
right,
and they just blackmail you and control you, and they promise you, if you do this, we'll delete the tapes. Oh, by the way, you just have to give us a little bit more, because now we have the thing that you did for us and the tapes, but we'll delete everything as soon as you do one more favor. Oh, now we have 3 things. Do one more and we delete that. And then now you're stuck. The only way out is unaliving yourself.
But I'm amazed that people that really care about the Epstein client list. Why don't people care more about who was controlling Epstein?
Right.
And do you think that was a human?
No.
That was a volcano lizard high on cocaine.
That was a cocaine lizard.
Yes, it was.
Controlling the world from like a war room.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, from an underground bunker.
100%.
Yeah.
But that's actually because everybody stops at Epstein.
Yeah, they do.
Nobody's like, who's behind the curtain?
Yeah.
Right?
That's it. And so things like, obviously the list incriminates. I mean, Bill Gates is releasing, what is he? He's releasing synthetic mosquitoes into the United States. And it's like, why on earth? What? They have no purpose. And he's buying up farmland, and like, he is a Bond villain. That's no surprise. But who's controlling him?
Right.
And here's another thing that really got to me about David Icke, right? So all those years from 2012, and I was reading his literature, I was watching his speeches. One of them was called The Lion Awakens, and it was a 10-hour gig he did at Wembley Stadium. And I usually just had it on in the background while I would do other stuff, like clean the apartment and stuff, get nice and juicily indoctrinated, you know?
Yeah.
And I really wanted to, and I would dream David Icke stuff, and he was just like, oh, and this guy and the deep state and this alien and that alien, and, you know, he did ayahuasca and he got downloads and information, and then he would say, why is there so much suffering on planet Earth? Right? Because, like, you know, a lot of people say, oh, I can't believe in a God who gives bone cancer to children, that kind of stuff, right? And then, like, why do we have pharmaceuticals that make you sick and nothing works, and no cure for cancer? Is that being suppressed? Blah, blah, blah. So he said, these lizards, they don't feed off food, you know what I mean? They're not vegans, to put it that way. That's not bananas and apples, okay, fueling these lizards. No. It's human suffering. That they're behind the curtain in a parallel dimension. They can only come into this dimension when they're masked as a human, usually a politician, to get through legislation that sounds good but makes people suffer, right?
And how does that suffering turn into a commodity? Like, how do you feast on it?
Oh, because they were taunting us when they made that Pixar movie, Monsters, Inc., where monsters come out of the monster dimension and scare children at night and then feed off their fear.
Right.
That's what they kept saying. So it's just like that. So if you're having trouble,
but how do you eat fair? Like, how do you
listen? If you're having problems understanding how the world works, just watch Monsters, Inc.
Okay,
Pixar.
Sorry. Okay, obviously,
because they eat the fear. Now here's the thing. Yeah. So I understood that and everything, and I was on these psychiatric meds, right? But I was, and I know that doesn't sound ideal. That I'm like, I have David Icke tapes on a loop in the background
and taking antipsychotics.
Yeah. I know that doesn't sound great, but it was actually a lot more sane than you think.
I think it sounds sane.
I hope a future employer is listening to this so they know that I'm like legit.
No, he's a sane guy.
Yeah, anyway, so then 7 years I couldn't get off those psych drugs, right? And I was like, what's going on here? Every time I tried to stop, I felt so bad. I was suffering so much. So what David Icke talks about, he says everything is reversed. on this planet we live on, right? And so tolerance is actually intolerance, right? And like all that other stuff. So medicine is actually poison. And so when I got off these meds and I was going off Lyrica and I was in the fetal position, I couldn't talk, I couldn't walk, I couldn't function. I had 50 panic attacks a day.
I never heard about this before.
I know it's brand new information, but that's when I thought, aha. Because a lot of people would think like, why did they do this to me? Not me. I was a hardened soldier by that time.
Right.
Of course the lizards made these pills because they're feeding off my suffering right now. Well, if I ever survive this, then we'll see who's feeding on who.
Yes, exactly.
That's right.
You will eat the lizards
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, listen, they've gotten all the fear they can out of me.
Yeah.
You know, my suffering quota has been paid for.
Yeah, your suffering bank account has no balance on the sheet.
No debt.
No debt.
Yeah, I have no suffer debt to the lizards.
Okay, so here's the last part.
Okay, I'm ready.
Most tragic cases of QAnon and reptilians colliding is that of a California man named Matthew Coleman.
A surf school owner with ties to San Diego is accused of murdering his 2 toddlers.
He believed his children possessed serpent DNA.
Police say he admits killing the children and hiding their bodies in Mexico.
On August 9th, 2021, Matthew Coleman killed his 2-year-old son, Kaleo, and 10-month-old daughter, Roxy, with a spearfishing gun. He and his wife, Abby, had been researching QAnon conspiracy theories online together.
Coleman allegedly told authorities he was receiving visions and signs revealing that his wife possessed serpent DNA and had passed it on to his children.
After his arrest, he told FBI agents he'd killed them to save the world. He'd first learned about reptilians from David Icke's Twitter account.
So these influencers, they know that they are appealing to people who are unbalanced, people who are angry, people who are armed in many cases, and looking for a target for their rage. So they do bear responsibility.
Again, this is Mike Rothschild.
They do bear accountability.
The reptilian narrative is alluring because it offers an explanation for the suffering in this world. Rather than facing man's own capacity for evil, for some people, it might be simpler to believe our problems are caused by literal monsters. The truth is that lizard people can't hurt you or your loved ones, but believing in lizard people definitely can.
Well,
that's highly debatable.
He's bought and paid for by the lizard people. Hey guys, the lizard people can't hurt you or your family, but believing in them can hurt you. You know? Man, people are so gullible, unlike us.
No, we're on. We know what's going on here.
Look, I think a lot of people listening right now are thinking, okay, look, I'm ready. I'm ready to help lizards enslave humanity. But what hot sauce best communicates that to my friends and family?
Well, I mean, first of all, Lloyd and Melon hot sauce is made by reptilians.
That's it.
This is the volcano-based habanero and mango, Scotch bonnet and whatever it is.
And ginger, yeah.
Yeah. This is your ticket into the
volcano.
Because
that industrial kitchen produces all that hot sauce.
Don't you think the reptiles have their own industrial kitchen in the volcano?
Do you think they have human hot sauce in that canteen?
Well,
in the volcano?
It's made of humans.
Right.
Most likely.
Listen, I don't think they have enough humans to spare because they eat them.
That's true.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is the way to go. If you want to really taste the other dementia, you know, the what is the planet called?
Oh, what was the one?
Whatever it is. But
okay.
If you want to taste the planet, if you want the taste of home, the real home, not this fake world, but this real world, this hot sauce is your hot ticket.
There's only one hot sauce to phone home with.
Yes. And that's Lloyd and Melon hot sauce.
Yeah.
The taste of freedom given through the reptilians.
Don't fight the lizards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just drink their hot sauce.
Just drink their hot sauce and shut the hell up.
That's it, right? And I mean, look, I think it's, even though we're on their side and stuff, I think it's fair to criticize them a little.
Of course. I mean, I criticize friends all the time.
I had a friend of mine. That's right. And I think that's a healthy thing. A friend of mine, my sponsor, actually, Narcotics Anonymous, he said, you know, the world was so much more hopeful in the 90s. Everything was going to be great, you know?
Yeah, but there was obviously a reason for that.
And what is that?
Well, the Soviet Union fell.
Right.
So finally, there was like hope again. Like the Cold War was over. The biggest power in the world was America, who represented freedom and all that stuff.
You know what the best thing about David Icke's 10-hour speeches were?
I don't know.
I think he had 8 of them. And on every single slide was a meme.
Right.
He made a meme.
He was the meme master.
No, he was. He was the meme master. Like it was so easy to follow. An idiot could follow it, you know?
Yeah, and very few idiots, of course, was in his crowd.
There were no idiots there.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because even an idiot could have followed it.
Exactly.
But it were great memes. Hey, look at that. Just type in real quick, David Icke meme. Just see if one is there from The Lion Awakens. Just remember, those were great times.
Like in Google?
Yeah, just Google it.
David Icke memes.
I remember I had some neighbors who were tanning here about 10 years ago.
What do you want? Like just to read one?
Yeah, just read one. Is there anything good?
It's like, it's amazing how much money I've made. I mean, I never thought when my manuscript on the Anukai was rejected.
Oh, Anunnaki.
Anunnaki.
Anyway, listen, we're not looking at memes making fun of David Icke. I mean, he is like, this podcast celebrates David Icke. So the Anunnaki, listen, there was a planet called Nibiru. That's what it was. And this was like the 11th planet, and it stopped by Earth close enough for aliens to sort of jump down every 780 years or so. And the alien race was called the Anunnaki, and they came down to South Africa because they needed gold to survive on their own planet. And that's when they created the human race and the Bible at the same time with an origin story. And then they mated with some humans and then created this like biracial race that would rule over them. And once they got all the gold, they left. And that's why there's so little gold on Earth.
Right.
It's just science.
But what, okay, so people are now, we're at the end of the podcast. But I just want to say, why are we talking about this? Well, there's an obvious reason. If you're a person who believes in the reptilians and that there's DNA, reptilian, that your wife have DNA, reptilian DNA,
right?
And you don't want to be a hybrid blood creator person.
Such a common problem.
Don't shoot your family with a spare gun.
That's right.
You know, just at first, don't do that.
No.
If you have questions about the hybrid DNA, go to somebody who has a medical degree that you trust.
Yeah.
And ask them, is this true?
Yes, because this podcast is not medical advice.
It is not.
No.
It is not anymore.
No.
They took away our license. But here's the point. Here's my point.
Yeah.
We are just saying, okay, there's a lot of stuff going on. But before you fire any gun or stab your father or, you know, cut anyone any way, just make sure that you have the pictures, the documents, that you go to a professional to like just get a second opinion. Yeah. That's all.
That's it.
Just get a second opinion.
The only advice we have is get a taser and a second opinion.
You don't have to go to the extreme immediately.
No, start with the taser.
And by the way, it's not a pressing matter. If you think your kids has, you know, hybrid blood or have reptilian tendencies.
That's it.
Right? And of course, by the way, I think all kids have reptilian tendencies, to be honest. But that doesn't prove that they are.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
That's it.
So just get a second opinion, that's all. And just take it easy.
Yeah.
You don't have to jump to conclusions.
That's it.
Because you are a person who said, oh my God, the COVID-19 thing, blah, blah, blah. The people jump to conclusions.
Yeah.
Well, now you're the one who's jumping to conclusions.
That's it.
Aren't you then as stupid as the people you hate?
That's it.
So please, with sugar on top, just take a step back. Take your spare gun that you use for surfing or whatever the guy was doing.
For fishing, yeah.
Fishing.
Yeah.
I know you do have a spare gun while surfing. I mean, well, maybe he did. I mean, of course.
He was surfing with my spear gun.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot
For self-defense.
Yes.
For self-defense in the ocean.
But just get a second opinion.
Look, I don't.
What's the big deal?
I don't even dare to think about how many lives we've saved with this episode. And this public service announcement was brought to you by Lloyd and Mellon Hot Sauce.
Saving lives.
Right? So, before you do anything brash, eat something, put some hot sauce on it, or just drink it right out of the bottle.
And that will wake your sanity right up.
That's right.
So here's what I'm saying. Okay. This is just a given scenario, okay? Hypothetical. You think that somebody you know is a reptile. Fine. We're not saying they are. We're not saying they aren't.
That's true.
But we're just saying, let's say that's hypothetical. You think they are a reptile.
Yeah.
Don't jump to a conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Now get in touch with somebody who you think could help you on this matter.
Right.
Because but I'm sure, I'm 100%. Right. I'm 100% sure. Listen, that's great.
Yeah.
Love where your head's at.
Yeah.
Okay?
We respect certainty.
This podcast celebrates certainty.
It does.
It does.
Every day.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But just to be professional, get a second opinion.
Right.
For somebody that you trust, but maybe who's not on board with your whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay, let's say I don't believe in God, but I trust him. And you're like a 100% Christian.
Right.
Let's say, right? But you ask a guy who's not Christian about something. Right. But I trust his opinion. I don't agree with him, but I want to have a second opinion. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
So.
But obviously, I mean, don't assume anyone isn't a lizard. That's just not safe either.
That's not safe either, no.
And also, when you're trying to get a second opinion, I think it's going to be harder and harder to find anyone who doesn't believe in lizards.
Do you know what the best way to find out if somebody's who's not a lizard? Or the best way to find out is somebody who is a lizard.
How's that?
I know exactly how to do it.
Okay.
You ask them to have a taste of the Lloyd and Mellon hot sauce.
Yeah.
And if they refuse, you're onto something.
That's it. Then I think we all know what that means.
We all know what that means.
Yeah.
Load your gun. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
That's right. Take it easy.
Take it easy, people. Anyway, any final words?
Trust no one.
Trust no one.
Ever.
Trust no one, but verify. Verify the information before you jump to conclusions.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. And by the way, we are 100% backing the lizards.
And this is not medical advice. And listen, everyone respects a healthy amount of paranoia.
And we also get money from lizards through the CIA.
That's true.
Just so everybody's on the same page here.
Yeah.
We're just saying it plainly.
Right.
Okay?
I wish CNN would say that about Pfizer.
So at some point they will.
I guess the logo's there right in the beginning.
It is.
Yeah.
Our people.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, have a nice day, and we're on our way to our terrarium.
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 In the volcano.
In the volcano.
In Aruba.
Aruba. Bye.